Aotearoa, and welcome to Monday's Economy Watch, where we follow the economic events and trends that affect Aotearoa. I'm David Chaston, and this is the international edition from interest.co.nz, and today we lead with news. It's now been 66 days since the Strait of Hormuz has been largely shut, and the two continents have descended into a stalemate, although the Iranians seem to have attacked one cargo ship overnight, let others through. The results have been much higher fuel prices, fertiliser prices, and a settling in of inflationary pressures everywhere. These pressures are intense. This week we'll start out locally with the Barfoot results for April, probably today, followed by the March quarter jobs report on Wednesday. The RBNZ will be reviewing financial stability on Wednesday as well. In Australia, it'll be all about the Tuesday afternoon decisions by the Reserve Bank of Australia, where a 25 basis point hike seems likely, but not certain. But inflation risks tied to the Iranian conflict are building, and they risk getting embedded. Also due out this week is data for building consents, job ads, household spending, and trade data for Australia. Trade data is also due from Taiwan, and PMIs will come from many countries. Sweden and Norway will be reviewing their monetary policy settings this week too. American financial markets will be eyeing their labour market data, with their non-farm payrolls report coming at the end of the week. There will also be important updates for their services sector, plus preliminary May sentiment surveys from the University of Michigan, also at the end of the week. At the end of last week, there were two factory PMIs out for the US, and both were positive. The ISM reported a modest expansion, unchanged from months ago, but they also reported a rise in new orders, even though export orders fell. And employment fell, and rather sharply. Prices rose sharply at their fastest pace since the pandemic. And the S&P Global US Manufacturing PMI was even more positive, but they said it was driven by stockpiling amid rising prices and supply disruptions. New orders increased at their fastest pace for 4 years, despite an 11th consecutive monthly decline in exports. On the price front, input cost inflation reached a 10-month high. If stockpiling and inventory builds are behind this American rise, while they lose global market share, this is not very sustainable. Stock building seems to be behind a sharp rise in Canadian factory activity too. Their PMI showed production, employment and purchasing all increasing in April. But theirs also featured new export orders, which rose solidly and at the fastest rate since the start of 2022. Across the Pacific, Japanese factories are reporting their fastest expansion in 12 years. It is no doubt welcome, but they are now having capacity problems affecting supply chain performance. This April production data supports earlier official industrial production data for March. And the Japanese yen strengthened suddenly and sharply on Friday, ending a long period of devaluation against the US dollar. This shift is likely due to the Bank of Japan's intervention, which seemed to have cost them $35 billion to pull off. In China, Southern China Airlines has ordered 137 aircraft from Airbus, said to be worth $28 billion. This comes after China Eastern Airlines ordered 101 Airbus aircraft worth $16 billion a month ago. It appears that China won't be offering Trump aircraft orders when Xi and he meets on May the 14th in Beijing. The US Treasury 10-year yield is now just on 4.38%, unchanged from this time on Friday, but up 7 basis points for the week. And the price of gold will start today down $7 at $4,613 an ounce, down $103 for the week. Silver's down $1 at just on $75 an ounce. And American oil prices are down 50 cents at just on $102 a barrel, while the international Brent price is also down 50 cents at $108 a barrel. A week ago, these prices were $94 a barrel and $105 a barrel, so the really big move was in the US. And the Kiwi dollar is unchanged from Saturday at this time at 59 US cents, up 20 basis points for the week. Against the Aussie, we're holding at 81.9 Australian cents. Against the euro, we're down 10 basis points at 50.3 euro cents. That all means our trade-weighted index starts today at just under 62.3, which is essentially unchanged from Saturday and up 10 basis points from this time last week. And the Bitcoin price starts today at $78,723 and up 0.3% from Saturday. It's up 1.1% from a week ago, however. Volatility over the past 24 hours has been low, at just on plus or minus 0.7%. You get more news affecting the economy in New Zealand from interest.co.nz. Aotearoa. I'm David Chaston, and we'll do this again tomorrow.